High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
a clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
It's a Nassau 1 showdown under the lights on a Friday night. From Syosset High School, the Port Washington Vikings take on the Syosset Braves on the Varsity Media Sports Network, presented by Orland and Cohen. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. From the outside, Roddy, it looks like the sky is falling for Port Washington. They started off the year 3-0. They've lost their last 3 games. A mountain of injuries, but for the Vikings, if you've got John McCarthy, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 3 teams tonight. This is a big game for playoff seeding and to get into the playoffs. As a 500 team, both Syosset and Port Washington are fighting for their lives to make sure that they can get into the playoffs. And when you have athletes on both sides of the ball, you got to give the ball to your best player and see what happens.
Yeah, and when it comes to John McCarthy, he's literally doing everything for Port Washington, the Vikings. You see the stats as we pull up right now. That's what he's got from the signal caller position. He also plays DB. He's a long snapper. We say that kids a lot of times are doing it all. He's literally doing it in every facet of the game.
Hey, when a kid is good at everything, you got to get him on the field in any way you can, right? So with John here, he's going to throw the ball, he's going to run the ball, he's going to make some big plays on defense, and he's probably the best long snapper, and that's why he's doing that. So what a great athlete, and what a testament to what type of player he is.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Syosset had their 2-game losing streak snapped, a 22-21 loss at Freeport last week. It came down to a missed extra point and a 2-point conversion as well. That was the difference in the 1-point loss. But for Syosset, they're going to rely on their running back today, Will Cawley, a 2-way player that is also one heck of a DB.
Yeah, Syosset's homecoming. It looks like Greece out here. We got everything going on. Syosset's running onto the field right now. And again, this is about playoff seeding and how, who wins this game and can cement a seed in the playoffs. So, they're going to get the ball to their best players and see what happens.
Syosset now coming out onto the field, and we are about moments away from kickoff. This is Nassau Conference 1 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network, powered by Orland and...
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete, first down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-3000 2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Syosset High School, a Nassau 1 showdown featuring the Port Washington Vikings and the Syosset Braves. Alongside Island Trees' own Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. And Roddy, we talk about what the seeding implications are for this game, and you just look at Nassau Conference 1. Both of these teams, although they are 7 and 8 on the list, tied for third in Nassau Conference 1, and anything's up for grabs, including after tonight, plus one more week next week.
Yeah, you have 5 teams that are 3-3 right now. And, obviously, if you can win your last 2 games, you have a better chance to get into the playoffs. So this is a big game for these 2 teams.
Port Washington, like we mentioned, started their first 3 games with a win and falling the last 3 weeks. Syosset, a little bit turbulent, had a 2-game winning streak snapped with a loss to Freeport, but Port Washington won the toss. They deferred, so Syosset will take over. And this is a Syosset team that has gone through a journey this year, and a team that after last year, winning 7 games, losing to Oceanside in the Nassau County semifinals, they feel that they have a team that they can surprise some people come playoff time if they do get into the playoffs with a favorable seed, and a team that is looking to get on a run.
Hey, let's be honest. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season as long as you get in the playoffs, right? And then at that point, it becomes matchups. And once you've played a team and once you know a coaching staff, most coaches know what they have to do. It's just whether the kids can execute. So Syosset wants to start off with a good offensive possession tonight. Hopefully they can punch one in and gain a little momentum and continue that through their homecoming night.
So as the Vikings get set to go, this is Troy Stevenson to knock it away with Nick Padula back to receive. Josh Ellman, the other guy, back in the end zone. And we are ready to go from Syosset High School as Ellman receives it, gets past the 25, has a couple of blocks, shakes another tackler, and is bumped out of bounds. Just shy of the 40-yard line.
Great start right there. They're starting at the 39-yard line.
And this is a Syosset team that has a lot of athletes, specifically on the special teams unit. Elman, one of those guys, a senior, has really worked himself into being a good special teams player, says his head coach, Paul Rourke. And Syosset set to go on offense as they'll be led by Mo Mozawala. Came on in week 3 as the starting quarterback, moving week 1 starter Darren Costa to the slot. And Costa, a guy that was just so athletic that Rourke said we had to get him in the slot. First give of the game is to Will Cawley as he nudges ahead for 2 yards. And forward progress will give him an extra yard. And let's meet the rest of the offense for the Braves. Mozawala, Michael Rashudo, William Cawley, Nick Padula, Kevin Hargrave, Carter Mandel, William Henry, Kyle Montagny, Nick DiBaccio, along with Sean Dillon and Jake Cohen, round out the starting lineup for the Braves. On second down and 6, Cawley, take 2, gets a first down. And Will Cawley, when he gets some space, a good downhill runner, he'll move the chains on his second carry of the game.
Yeah, that was a nice power play to the right side here. Pulled the guard. The H-back kicked out, and the guard led up. And Cawley followed the lead to get a first down for Syosset.
And Port Washington's defense will have its hands full tonight. That's a freshman, Diego Escobar on the end. Dylan Platt, Owen Lefkowitz, Marek Woodside, Dawson Alexander, Andrew Newworth, Harry Behan, Hayden Nadboy, Luke Meyer, Jake Siciliano, rounding out the lineup as first pass is complete to the far side. That's Padula, 27th catch of the year. Gets a gain of 1, and that'll set up second down.
It looked like on that one, that was just like an RPO kind of look. They looked outside and saw the matchup. The corner was way off, about 8 to 10 yards off, so they tried to hit it with the hope that he would get in the open field and make something happen there. Good tackle by the corner.
And Padula, a guy that has good speed. He's a good route runner, but it's his hands that separate him into one of the most talented wide receivers in Nassau Conference 1.
Get him the ball any way you can. If you look to the top of the screen again, that corner is 10 yards off right there.
Lined up on the far side. Cawley again, charging ahead. And Cawley with the pickup near the first down marker.
So the same play they ran to the right to second play of the game, they came back with it to the left, just a power play, pulling the guard around. And then again, a nice pickup, giving it third and short here for Syosset.
And this is a young Syosset team, but not for their offensive line. When you look at DiBaccio, Henry, Cohen, those are guys that have been on the team for 3 years, and they've really led the ship for the Braves this year. And, you know, they've had to change their offense from last year. Syosset had Will Hogan as one of the best passers in Conference 1. He leaves, and when you've got 2 different quarterbacks, as Will Cawley will get the first down, Rourke said that he's had to change the offense. So last year it was 60-40 passing. This year it's 60-40 run first.
Well, when you have a runner like Cawley, he just proved himself there. The play was jammed up a little bit. He got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but he bounced off and he gained 5 yards. So, you know, when you have a very good running back like that, you got to kind of change it around and get him the ball any way you can. And Cawley's starting off pretty good. He's around 25 yards on the first couple of carries of the game.
And it's got to be a benefit, too, when you've got returning linemen, right, because you can open up that offense, but it also helps a first-time quarterback like Mozawala.
Yeah. I mean, you know, people don't realize when you have a returning offensive line, 3 or 4 kids, that really establishes everything for you. You know, athletes are athletes. They come and go, but if you have big linemen that know the system and can block, that's a big thing for your team.
Carter Mandel took his eye off the ball, dropped pass. And second down upcoming for the Braves.
Yeah, what Syosset's doing here is they're starting Cawley off on the runs, and Port is dropping their corners way off. So they're trying to get them to drop some guys back and give the ball to their receivers so they can make somebody miss. And if they're able to do that and catch the ball, that's one-on-one. They make someone miss, it could be a touchdown.
On second down, here's Cawley with a hole. Gets past the secondary, inside the 10, still on his feet, and wrestled down inside the 5.
That's coming back. We got a clip on number 88 over here. Great run by Cauley, but number 88 hit somebody right in the back, right at the line of scrimmage. You'll see here. Cauley breaks it on a sweep, and here comes 88 right in the back, right there.
Yeah, Carter Mandel will be called for the penalty as that wipes off a 30-yard pickup for Cauley.
And that was the block that sprung him. You teach your wide receivers when they're cracking back. If you see somebody's back, just let it go. Cauley gets tackled for a 1 or 2 yard gain. It's better than coming back for 10.
And official tonight is Frank LaSala, marching everybody back as this will move Syosset towards midfield as they set up shop on the 46-yard line.
So it's 2nd and long here. Your running game, Cauley's been running very well. You don't want to get into the trap of trying to throw the ball and gain all these yards right away. Maybe a little screen, maybe a little draw play, or a little rollout to the quarterback to the left. You don't want to go for 20 yards here. You want to get about 8 to 10, make it 3rd and manageable, and then you can make that decision to go on 4th down or not. Syosset's coming out and trips to this side here.
2nd and long from the 46. Cauley again using the block from Santiago Plaza Sandoval to pick up a gain of 6.
So Syosset came back with the same exact play. They just changed the formation. They went with a little bunch set over to the left-hand side, and they sealed everything down. They gave Cauley the ball back to see if he can get a big run. And now, it's 3rd and 15. So, again, you got a couple of yards here. You want to try to get another 8 to 10, and then hopefully you'll have 4th and 6 or so, and then you make that decision whether you go for it or you pin him inside the 10.
Jake Siciliano had that tackle, the two-sport athlete. The first-year varsity football player. Comes over from the basketball team.
Here comes Port on the blitz.
Costa. Mozawala rolling out, trying to shade the blitz. Gets past the line of scrimmage. He'll have a gain as Mozawala still on his feet. Burrowing forward. Mozawala making something out of nothing. Boy, he's so good on his feet.
Yeah, that looked like they were setting up a screen down here. The replay didn't show it. And then he just scrambled out to his right, and it looked like he was going to get about a 2-yard gain right here, and he just kept on running and bouncing off tackles. Port's got to make sure they wrap up there. At least 2 or 3 missed tackles because guys didn't wrap up. And now we're 4th and 7. We got a player down on the sideline for Syosset, number 15.
Yeah, that's the quarterback, Mozawala. He'll take his helmet off, not sure if he wears contacts or a bloody nose or what it is, we can't really see, but he'll get tended to. But, just looking at the Syosset offense so far, now a lot of that first big pickup from Will Cauley came via the penalty, but what have you seen out of the running game so far for the Braves?
Well, like you talked about earlier, when Syosset's returning a whole bunch of offensive linemen, you just want to give, Cauley the ball and let the offensive linemen go to work. Whatever the play is, whether it's draws or sweeps, whether it's counters or powers, if the line can establish themselves early, which Syosset has done, it gives them an opportunity to decide what they want to run and what they want to pass with. So now it's 4th and 7. The quarterback has to come out of the game because he took a knee. We don't know what the injury is, but he took a knee on the field, so they're probably going to have to sub in. This might change what they want to do here.
Well, and the good thing about Syosset is they've got Darren Costa now as the backup. He was the week 1 starting quarterback, so it's not like they're throwing in somebody fresh or somebody who hasn't had a lot of reps. And so Costa, number 12 in black, should be going under center for at least one play. Ball be spotted on the 32-yard line, and this is a Syosset team that has a really good kicker in Robert Crehan, but it might be a little too far out for him. Right now it'd be about a 49-yard field goal. And, when I spoke to Rourke about the game last week, Crehan had 1 field goal attempt. It hit the top of the crossbar, but that was from 40 yards. He said it would have been good. It just hit the crossbar. On 4th down, Darren Costa takes it himself and pedals ahead, but should be short, and a turnover on downs, and a good job by Port Washington's defense to settle up and force the turnover.
Looks like there's a flag on the play at the end of the run here. Let's see who it's on, because if it's on Port, this will give Syosset another opportunity. Nope, that's declined. It's going to be Port's ball.
So a holding penalty against Syosset, null and void. And here come the Vikings.
I think that was a smart play call for Syosset. The only thing I didn't like there is they ran it to the short side of the field. Their quarterback came in, they tried to run sweep to the short side. He kind of ran out of space there down by the sideline, but it was smart. They didn't put pressure on him. They didn't make him throw the ball, just coming right into the game. They got about 5 or 6 yards there, and now Port's going to have to go 70 yards to get some points here.
Offense has been hard to come by for the Vikings. 19 points combined over the last 2 weeks. A 28-7 loss to Massapequa. And Massapequa, of course, one of the perennial contenders in Conference 1. Off to a 5-1 start this year. But John McCarthy in the gun and a high snap. First snap of the game. McCarthy has to dive on top of it.
Oh, he threw the flag there. I don't like that call there. The ball was loose. The quarterback jumped on the ball. And number 11 jumped right on top of him. I guess the ref thought it was a late hit and it was unnecessary.
Santiago Plaza Sandoval.
No, he's going the other way.
So we'll get 2 penalties on there. We'll see if they offset. But let's take another look at it again, Roddy.
Yeah, it's a bad snap. The quarterback falls on it. But number 11 there is just running after the ball. He might have been able to hold off, but that's a quick flag on that. That's one of those I would rather see them, grab the kid, pull him aside, say, hey, when the guy's down, let it go. I don't agree with that call. But, Port's going to luck out there, and it's going to be their ball here. They didn't lose 15 yards on that. They're going to get the penalty yards back, and it's first down.
So after all of that, just a loss of 5.
If the game has a feel to it and it's getting a little edgy and chippy, then I like that call. But early on in the game, when the ball's loose and he just jumps on the ball, I think that's one of those, you let the kid know, hey, that's not going to happen the rest of the night. Let's be smart.
Owen Lefkowitz, the center. And McCarthy on second down. Keeps it himself. Jostling forward, a couple of spins. And is down near the first down marker. And we'll see if they move those chains, but McCarthy using his feet. And a pickup of 9+, and they'll give him the first down.
Looked like a little zone read there. Port went with a bunch set, and they collapsed that whole top of the side. McCarthy pulled the ball, followed his blocks, and got a nice run there.
Check that, a pickup of 14 for McCarthy. Now 170 rushing yards on the season. Play action, thrown into the flat. Harry Behan muscles forward. Gets past Cawley, but finally taken down by Sandoval.
So, again, I don't know if they're running zone read or if they're just running an RPO here, but McCarthy puts it into the running back's belly. He reads that the outside isn't covered, and he throws a little bubble pass, again, for a nice little run to the outside.
Vikings first down at the 48-yard line. Behan, the man in motion. Here's the option. Behan receives, eluding a few tacklers, and gets spun down. Past midfield to pick up a 5 for Behan.
Nice tackle there by the safety. So they ran zone read before. Now they come back with a little option play. They motion the running back into the backfield, run a little zone zone read where he can give the ball or he takes it, and then he finishes the triple option with a pitch.
Behan averaging 5.3 yards per carry. Stevenson on the sweep. Close to a first down. He'll get it as he gets knocked out of bounds by Carter Mandel.
Little jet sweep here. So Port's getting to the outside a lot. They're loosening up Syosset defense by getting to the outside. They run the jet sweep to the outside. Now let's see if they'll go back inside. Syosset's going to have to start worried about that outside. They're going to have to get some guys out to the far side of the field.
McCarthy back to pass on first down. Flushed out of the pocket. Playing way deep. Throws it out of bounds. To avoid disaster.
A couple of years ago, that would have been intentional grounding, but the Rules Committee in Nassau County and New York State said that quarterback can kind of throw the ball away. So a couple of years ago, that ball would have been all the way back here. Oh, there he is. He's calling it.
And you'd have to think so, too. There wasn't a receiver in the vicinity. That was clearly just to avoid a sack. And now Kevin Claugesi will come out and talk it over with Frank LaSala.
I thought they changed that rule this year. I could be wrong, but I thought they said if the quarterback's scrambling, they give him a little more leeway this year. And if he throws the ball away, he can. Maybe he threw it too far away and he determined there was no eligible receiver in the area.
So there is the intentional grounding call, a loss of a down, and will push Port Washington back. And Roddy, let me ask you, as a coach, is there anything that any of the receivers or eligible receivers could have done to help McCarthy when he's scrambling back like that?
Well, I thought McCarthy, if he had a little bit of time, he had a quick little out going to the top of the screen there. I thought if he would have gotten the ball there, they could have gotten a couple of good yards. He just misread it, and then he started to scramble, and unfortunately for him, when he tried to turn, he looked like he stumbled, and then he gets into a little bit of a panic mode. The only thing you could tell your receivers is try to come back to the ball, and you don't want the quarterback to force it. You could throw it in the vicinity. He just threw it what looks like too far out of bounds there, and they called him for intentional grounding. Like I said, I thought they got rid of that rule and they gave the quarterback some more leeway, and I don't think he was way back here. I thought he was more up by the 36, 37-yard line.
Yeah, this would be a loss of 20 as the officials will get together and talk about the spot, and Claugessi will get a explanation from LaSala.
And remember, people, this isn't like the NFL where you get out of the box and you could throw it away. They're trying slowly but surely to help the quarterbacks in high school, but they're not taking the vicious hits, that quarterbacks are, especially, that Tom Brady getting that hit, what was that, 2 weeks ago, where they said that was roughing the passer, which was ridiculous. But here, they're trying to protect the kids, and, they didn't let them throw it away. I thought they should have.
Well, and then if you sneeze on Derek Carr, it's an assault as the handoff goes to Sarkisi, and Andrew Sarkisi, nowhere to go, brought down by John Munoz, the senior.
Yeah, now Port's in a really bad spot here. Again, you don't want to try to get all these yards back, so they tried a little dive up, hoping Syosset would come up and rush the passer, and they didn't get anything. So that one little pass play, they were running the ball really well. They try a pass play to get, Syosset tricked up, and it backfires on them, and now it's 3rd and forever.
The Vikings will have to go to Port Washington to get the first down. Off the carry is Sarkisi again. With some daylight, Sarkisi gets back to midfield. But even then, he's still 17 yards short.
Of Port Washington.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, he got 15 yards there, so that's not that bad because you take that 15, now you're going to punt the ball on the 50, and most high school punters will get 20 to 25 yards, so you're going to make Syosset drive the whole field. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out. I don't know if they punt out of their offensive sets or not. Does McCarthy punt for them?
Well, he can.
But usually he's the long snapper.
Right.
So sometimes teams will line up like this, and they'll quick kick it. So we'll see if McCarthy does it or if they're going to just chuck the ball up here and see what they get. This is a big risk early. He's punted. He just backed up.
And there it is. The pooch punt from McCarthy sends back Mandel. And a good punt by McCarthy. And Port Washington downs it at the 9-yard line.
Nice play by McCarthy. So not only does he long snap, he plays DB, he's the quarterback, now he's punting too. Really good call by the coaches. They kept the defense on. Nobody dropped back. The ball rolled inside the 10. And that's why that 3rd down play of getting 15 yards is so important, because you're punted from the 50 instead of the 35 or the 40, and now you pin Syosset all the way down inside their 10.
So Syosset will wait for their offense to come out, but we will step aside as well. 2:53 to go in the first quarter. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Back here, 2:46 to go in the first quarter. Will Cawley took the first snap and then was called for a penalty. Not Cawley specifically, but penalty upcoming, so they should redo the down. We'll see.
Illegal shift.
So the illegal shift will push back Syosset, who, after getting the stop and an intentional grounding call, got fooled on the punt, had nobody back. They were expecting Port Washington to go for it on 4th down. John McCarthy pinned them at the 9-yard line, and this will just move them closer to their own end zone.
Yeah, that'll be half the distance because they're inside the 10. Should be half the distance, but so again, that Port with that pass kind of set them back here, but the punt really changed field position. Now they get a penalty here, and now Syosset's on their own 5-yard line. I thought Syosset had a really good drive giving the ball to Coley. You want to give the ball to him here and get out of your own side of the field. So let's see what they come up with and how to get him the ball. The sweeps to the either side have been working. And then they ran the power plays inside both times. Looks like they have a power set here.
Coley had a 30-yard run called back on the chop block and gets a pickup of 7. He's averaging 4.5 yards per carry this year, but Will Coley off to a strong start tonight under the lights.
Yes, Syosset looked like they just went to a power set with 2 backs back there. Coley followed the power play. He was 1 missed tackle away from breaking that. Good, solid run. Now it's 2nd and about 7 yards.
Now, Coley only a sophomore, but Rourke says that his 2 starting running backs in Coley and Michael Rashudo, they're 2 guys that will play on both sides of the ball, so they don't get as many carries as a traditional starting running back would because they're linebackers as well. But Coley so far getting the lion's share, tripped up. Might have just slipped, and he'll lose 3.
Yeah, Coley's running really well, so just keep on feeding that ball. Looked like he slipped, but there was a Port defender right in the area when he tried to make a cut. They lost about 2 yards there, so it's about 3rd and 9 here. Again, Port has been playing their corners way off. So I would expect maybe a little curl pass. Syosset might try to run the ball and see if they can surprise them. But the Port corners are way off, especially to the top of the screen. Let's see if they take advantage of that.
Ozawala on 3rd and 9. Floats it, far side, has a man knocked away. Good coverage by John McCarthy on the intended receiver, Nick Padula. And 4th down upcoming for the Braves.
Yes, Syosset went for it there. I thought they'd take the curl. The corner was way off. Let's see. So at the top of the screen, you see the corner off. Wide receiver just runs right by him. Corner's looking in the backfield, but with his recovery speed and athleticism, he knocks the ball away, strips his hands down. Really nice play by McCarthy there.
McCarthy, the future lacrosse player from Middlebury.
Oh, they're coming after it.
And Robert Crehan gets the punt off.
Well, pick it up and hit him.
And it is downed by Syosset. That's Noah Royo. As Royo might have gotten hit on the bounce. But either way, Port Washington takes over at the 44-yard line.
And again, that punt sets everything up with this field possession, right? Syosset gets the ball on the inside their 10, take a penalty, and they punt. And Port's back to where they were before that pass play.
Well, the Syosset defense will get another opportunity. And let's meet the Braves starting 11. William Henry, Kyle Montaghi, Nicholas DeBacco, Sean Dillon, Will Cawley, John Munoz, Michael Rashudo, Andy Zaletta, Carter Mandel, Nick Padula, and Josh Ellman. 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Vikings. 65 seconds to go. Opening quarter was scoreless. Thrown into the flat. This is Behan, another reception. Had a block and picks up 3 down at the 40-yard line.
So again, a little bubble play here. I'm not sure if they're running their RPO set and reading, but most teams what they'll do is if there's only 2 guys out on the trip set, they'll throw the little bubble and hope their athletes will break it. If not, they just give the run to the running back there.
And so time will expire on the first quarter. A scoreless affair between the Port Washington Vikings and the Syosset Braves. We'll step aside. You're watching Nassau Conference 1 football presented by Orland Coed on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
The fair is in town here at Syosset High School, and what a great atmosphere here tonight at Syosset High School. Under the lights in a great Nassau 1 showdown. Alongside Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. Both teams scoreless through the first 12 minutes as Port Washington sets up shop at the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. And John McCarthy back out in the gun, the hard count and a false start. Ryan Shanahan, the sophomore, jumped offside. This is a Port Washington team that called up 11 sophomores due to injury over the last few weeks. Shanahan is one of them. And, you know, the hard count is designed to get the defense to jump. Unfortunately, it was the poison for the Vikings.
That drives the coach crazy. That's a receiver on the far side. Receivers should be looking in. And you always tell your receivers, unless it's a pass, you should be staring at that ball. I'd rather you be late off the ball than too early. And now that pushes Port back by 2. So Syosset only has 2 guys out here on the trip set again. Here comes, they even out a little bit.
On 2nd and 12, little screen pass. Christian Sarkeesian picks up 4, as that brings up 3rd and long.
That was a good play by number 11 there. He looked like he was a defensive end. He read the little bubble play out here, and he just sprinted to the ball. Even though he didn't make the tackle, he allowed his teammates to rally to the ball and stop that from being a big play.
Santiago Sandoval with the takedown, and Rourke was very complimentary of Sandoval this week, saying that he had a great week of practice. He's been seeing the ball well, but been reading the coverages better, and it's just a luxury to have him back there. Syosset shows blitz. McCarthy taken down. Will Henry with the sack. And a big TFL for Mr. Henry.
Yeah, again, that's Santiago. I know he doesn't make the play, but watch number 11. This is a rollout. Santiago is going to come outside, maintain outside leverage, and he makes the quarterback step up. And when he does, he's met by his teammate, and there's the big sack, causing Port to have to punt.
Will Henry thrown into the starting lineup because of the injury to Conrad Zeng, who was questionable to come back for today's game. And Henry, a natural D lineman, as the high snap on the punt is knocked away by Stevenson.
Good roll.
And another good punt for the Vikings, as it's down to at the 20. But a big sack for Will Henry forces Port Washington back, and they punt, as Syosset will take the field, and we'll take a break as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Vikings and Braves, presented by Orland Cohen. Friday Night Lights here in Nassau County. Mo Mozawala back out under center. Took a knee, had to come off for a play, so Darren Costa came on, but now here's Mozawala flushed out of the pocket. He's got a man downfield. That's Andy Zaletta, and he can't haul it in. That was a good throw by Mozawala, throwing it into a tight window, but Zaletta couldn't complete it. And after that, just second down.
Yeah, nice little rollout. They sold the out, and he went an out and up, and they threw a nice ball there. Unfortunately, he just couldn't hang on to the ball.
John McCarthy and Harry Behan the double team.
I like the
coverage.
sorry, John. I like the aggressive play call there. Nothing's really been going for either team offensively, so they come back out and try to get the the down, out, and up. Unfortunately, Zaleta just couldn't hang on to the ball. Let's see if Syosset gets that ball back to Cauley. They were having some nice runs on the inside with their power plays. They just took a shot. Let's see if they get him the ball here. Run a little bit of power football.
On second down, Mozawala fires.
Big hit.
Pass incomplete. Carter Mandel not able to hold on to it. And a big hit on the secondary for Port Washington.
That looked like Hayden Nodboy. Really nice hit. Read the quarterback's eyes. Quarterback kind of stared down that slant. He came from a safety position and just put a nice hit on him. Real good play, 3rd and 10.
And Nadboy naturally a linebacker, so you can see the linebacking tendency there, but thrown into the DB spot as a safety this week. Relatively new to the position. But hey, I guess when you're used to just knocking guys down, you'll take it whenever you can. On 3rd down, pass incomplete. Mozawala short hops the pass intended for Padula. That was McCarthy on the coverage, and the punting unit comes out for Syosset.
Yeah, that looked like a misread by Mo. He kind of got it. No receivers in the area. He's actually lucky that that didn't get picked off. He's talking to his coach there, and the coach is asking, what were you looking at? What did you see? That was not the play that they wanted. So, again, Syosset's punting deep from inside. Let's see if Port can make something happen here.
It's the senior Robert Crehan. And a good punt. Gets a big Braves bounce. And Crehan with a huge punt in. Crehan, you'll see number 9 in black, the punter. He's also the kicker. Graduating this year, a guy that has attended camps all over the country, kicking camps, Penn State, Fordham, University of New Hampshire, Robert Morris, and he was a guy that was a natural wide receiver, fell in love with kicking over the summer and told Rourke, hey, I want to kick, showed him what he can do, and now he's been their full-time kicker ever since.
Real nice job there. He punted the ball, got nice hang time. Port, for some reason, Port decided to go after the block again. They left their return guy all by himself, and he didn't want to go near the ball, and that ball rolled an extra 15 yards to put Port back on their own 35-yard line. Again, much like Syosset to start their drive, I thought Port was running the ball really well, and then they started throwing the ball a little bit too much. So let's see if they get back to handing the ball off, giving it to their running back, and establish some field position here.
Vikings start their drive on the 36-yard line. And McCarthy on 1st down, airing it out. It's deep. Stevenson intercepted. Andy Zaleta taken away by the Braves. Zaleta across midfield and gets tackled out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Well, Zaleta didn't make the catch down the field last time. This time he picks the duck and an INT for the Braves.
Yeah, Zaleta came up with a big play. So McCarthy drops back here. It looks like they have the receiver on the go route, but he leaves it way inside. So if he throws it to the outside, that might be a touchdown. But like you said, he threw it straight up in the air. Zaleta, as a safety, saw it, picked it up, had a nice return.
And I'd imagine for Zaleta, and as a coach, that's exactly what the doctor ordered in terms of getting his confidence back.
So you saw both offensive coordinators there decide, hey, we have nothing going. Let's take a shot right on 1st down. Unfortunately for Syosset, the first time Zaleta dropped it, but he makes a big play here. Port does the same thing, and it gets picked off, and now Syosset has the ball inside the Port 40. Again, I like to see them establish the run, get back to power football, gain a couple of yards, and then start taking your shots.
Good field position for the Braves.
Double pass maybe, there it is.
Costa, the former QB, has a man downfield through the wickets of Carter Mandel. Well, they got the man open, but Mandel couldn't haul it in. And just an incomplete pass for the Braves.
So they motion into 4 wide. There it is, wide open. All he had to do was lob it up there, and he threw it outside to him, and you see the receiver had to turn to his outside shoulder. He leaves it inside. It's a touchdown for Syosset. Love the aggressive play call off a turnover. Let's see what they draw up here.
I'm interested now, Roddy. You just got to look at Port Washington's defense. And Mandel was so open. Do you try it again? If you're Port Washington, are you expecting it again? What do you think the thought process is?
So now it's 2nd and 10, right? Again, you got to get the run game going. That's what you're established. That's what you're doing, and that's what they do. So they're going to make it 3rd and 5. And again, personally, once I'm over the 50-yard line, I'm pretty much going for it any 4th down unless it's 4th and forever. So now it's 3rd and 5. They know they have 2 shots to get this first down here. They gain 5 on the run. That's what you want. You can get 5 yards in every run play. You're set up. So they went for the trick play. They missed it. I would expect them to do maybe a little short pass or a run here to make it 4th and short, and you go for it again.
So Cauley with a gain of 5.
Last time they ran this formation, they ran power. Let's see if they pull the guard around on a lead. There it is. There's power right up the gut. Nice run.
Pick up of 3. Will Cauley continues to pummel forward.
Yeah, solid run there by Cauley. 1 missed tackle, and he's out. All right, so they came back with the power. They pulled their left guard. Cauley was just 1 missed tackle away from breaking out. But again, they got 3 yards here, so now it's 4th and 3. Syosset has a decision. Do they take a shot here? Do they give the ball back to Cauley and get the first down?
So Syosset calls a timeout on 4th and 3. And fans, if you haven't already, be sure to download the Varsity Media Pass for top 10 plays, highlights, podcasts, interviews, season preview show, and much, much more. Available on iOS and Android. Download the Varsity Media Pass today at varsitymediapass.com. So Roddy McCoy, 8:09 to go in the second quarter. No score. Syosset and Port Washington. The Braves have the ball, like you said, 4 down territory. Will Cauley now with 9 carries for 43 yards. Had a 30-yard run wiped off due to the chop block. But having said that, for Syosset, do you go back to the well with Cauley? He's been so effective.
I like this position here at 4th and 3 because Port's saying, hey, watch the run. They're going to do this and that. If Syosset has a nice play-action pass here where they can sucker them in off the power play and they give a nice read, you might be able to pop one for a big gain. So it's really, do you trust your offensive line to get 3 yards here? And in a game where your offense hasn't been playing well, maybe you take a shot, little play-action pass, or you're going to give the ball to Cauley in a power formation and say, hey, line, let's get this first down. Port's way up. They're pressing up here. So if Syosset goes play action, they might hit it.
Syosset 0 for 1 on 4th down. Here's Cauley. Walled off. The Vikings defense stands tall, and a turnover on downs.
And Port kind of gets lucky there because right before the play, the Syosset receiver moved. So it should have been called for an illegal motion. They didn't throw the flag. Port makes a big play to stop it anyway, and now it's Port's ball. Port was expecting to run, and that's why I kind of like that. If you have a 4th and 3, everyone expects to run. If you have a nice play-action pass, that's the time to take it. And Syosset decided to, hey, let's run behind our road graders and give the ball to Cauley. And unfortunately for them, Port just blitzed and stopped the run.
So McCarthy goes back out there after throwing the interception, and he had to play defense, so he's got to be satisfied with the defense standing up for his INT. But, now that you've had a quarter plus, so 16 minutes of play for Port Washington, what have you seen out of their offense?
So they started the game off running and getting to the outside and looking very good, and then they've started to pass the ball, and unfortunately for them, their passing game just hasn't hit it tonight. I'd like to see them come back to the run. They tried right there to get back to the outside, and they didn't gain anything. But both teams, I feel like, they started off running and getting some yards and doing some nice things, and now they've been caught up in passing, which has set them back a little bit because now it's 2nd and 3rd and long, and you can't really run when it's that long.
Yeah, so McCarthy gets the pickup of 1.
No one out on the slot here. They might throw a little bubble pass out here. Syosset guys are way wide.
It looks like they're showing blitz, too. That's John Munoz, 27 in black.
Here comes 21 up to take that bubble away. There it is.
It's the flat, short-hopped. just in front of Behan. Third down upcoming for the Vikings.
Yeah, the Port coaching staff saw what I saw. They had the safety and corner way off down here. They tried to throw the bubble. Unfortunately, McCarthy just didn't throw a good pass, but that was set up. They might have had a big play there if he was able to complete that. So 3rd and long, here's what you got to decide. You're going to put the ball in McCarthy's hands here. Do you have a little draw, screen? Syosset will most likely play some coverage here.
Just over 7 minutes to go in the half. McCarthy rolls out, dumps it back. Here's Behan. Takes the carry. Flag is down. Galloping forward. Has a first down. We'll see if he gets pulled back. As Behan gets wrestled out of bounds by Carter Mandel.
Yeah, it's coming back.
And the penalty against Christian Sarkeesian for holding.
Yeah, it looked like it was a block in the back. So when they did the reverse, it looked like he kind of walled him off, and he didn't have to. I didn't like the call. I saw it right away, and it looked like the tackle was kind of walling him off. It didn't look like a vicious block, or he hit him very hard. If I was the head coach of Port, I'd be very unhappy with that call. Yeah, block in the back. So if we see on the replay here, if you look at the top of the screen, so they set up the reverse. It's nicely set up. And right there on the top, you could see he's blocking, but he... and that's coming from the umpire on this side of the field. I don't like that call. Good call for if you're a Syosset Braves fan, but if you're a Port fan, if you're the coach, I would not be happy with a call like that. I don't think that kid was going to make the play. He was way inside.
So second large penalty taken by Port Washington. You had the intentional grounding by McCarthy in the first quarter, and now a long way to go for McCarthy. 3rd and 20 from the 27.
So again, if I'm Port, I'm just going to run the ball here, try to get a couple of yards, and then punt the ball away. You don't want to put your quarterback in a spot where he's tossing the ball up and you turn the ball over here with 6.5 to go in the half. Good call. I think he saw the defense there. He didn't like what he saw, and they're going to decide to, again, I would expect them to run the ball, maybe a little power play, because Syosset will play off, gain a couple of yards, and then try to change the field position yet again.
Well, it's a jam-packed weekend on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Here's the lineup for tomorrow. Moore Catholic taking on St. Francis Prep at 7:30 p.m., Manhasset and Plainedge. Next Friday, New Hyde Park and Garden City, and St. Peter's and Christ the King. Saturday Night Live at should be Mitchell Field. So fans, be sure to check those out and download the Varsity Media Pass, available on Android and iOS for coverage of those games and podcast as well. And hey, while you're at it and you found this game, you're already on YouTube, subscribe. Smash that subscribe button and then follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Varsity Media. You're subscribed, right?
Oh, yeah. What a great time of year. You got high school football. It's beautiful weather on the island. It's not too cold. You got playoff baseball. You got the hockey season that started, the basketball season that started. And then, of course, high school football, college football, NFL. You go home, you watch TV, or you come out to these games. It's just a great time if you're a sports fan to come out and watch these kids play. Or watch the pros play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Yankees can't win in Houston, and the Mets got eliminated.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Not many times both teams are in the playoffs, as taking the direct snap is Anthony Iorio, wearing number 1.
I think that was McCarthy.
Oh, excuse me, McCarthy. I guess that 7 was so bunched up. I apologize. I was going to say, it's interesting that Iorio would have it because he wasn't eligible, and we saw him in a hoodie earlier in the warm-ups. That's a guy that Port Washington has relied upon so much this year. And there you see, we'll get you Iorio's stats in a second, as we'll have 4th down and 8.
So he's going to punt again. It's 4th and whatever. See if he backs up. Yep, there's the backup. Here comes the punt. And again, another great punt by McCarthy.
Yeah, Syosset was not expecting it. Stevenson is there. And the ball rolls out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Well, we mentioned missing their number 1, Anthony Iorio, the junior QB turned receiver. And there you see the stats. 6 catches, 122 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and it just would have been another weapon for McCarthy. and a Port Washington team that has struggled to find the end zone. They've only scored 19 points the last 2 weeks.
Listen, unfortunately, when you play sports, injuries happen, whether you're a lineman, skill guy, whatever. So as coaches, it's so frustrating when you don't have a lot of numbers and one of your better kids gets hurt. And you got to shuffle guys around, you got to put guys in place. And as you talked about earlier, sometimes you got to change the offense around too. Because, if you have a quarterback that can throw and now he's hurt, now you got to run more. If you have a guy that can run, and now he's hurt, you got to kind of change up the philosophy and what you're doing. So, when the team's struggling to score points and they lose an athlete like that, that just puts more pressure on the team to execute.
First down and 10 from the 18-yard line. 5.5 to go, second quarter. Mozawala back to pass. Fires over the middle. He's got a man. That's Padula. And a first down. Nick Padula with a big gain. Knocked down at the 39-yard line. A pickup of 21 for Super Nick.
Nice play there. It just looked like a crossing route. Yeah, they're in a very tight bunch with 4 wide. Padula comes from across the field. That's a mesh concept. You see the receivers cross, and there's Padula popping wide open for a nice play.
Second reception for Padula. He's got 22 yards. Here comes the boom. Port Washington with the takedown. That's another super sub. Andrew Newworth. He's coming on for the injured Nick Parinello and gets a big sack.
That's a big blitz there because the Syosset receiver opened up. If Mo would have had a little bit more time, that might have been a big play. Great call by the defensive coach. Sending the blitz, and now Syosset is in second and long.
4:40 and rolling. Second and long for the Braves.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a lot of money over here for the 50-50 raffle. Wow.
Keep your hands where we can see them.
I'll cut you in. Don't worry.
And a timeout taken by Port Washington. Down on the other side. Well, Port Washington taking their second timeout. And you look at the Port Washington schedule this year. A hot start. 3-0, wins over Freeport, Westbury, and Uniondale, but then playing the top half of the Conference 1 standings. Losses to Farmingdale, Baldwin, and Massapequa. How crucial are these last 2 weeks for Port Washington, a team that only won 3 games a year ago? I know that they're down a lot of players, but having said that, like you said, just get into the dance.
Yeah. For both teams tonight, this is a big game. You're going to go 4-3 with your last game, and you just give yourself a better shot. There's 5 teams in Conference 1 that are 3-3, I believe. So, if you can get an upper hand and go 4-3 into your last game, you're selling to your kids, hey, we got this one. We get one more next week, and we're going to the playoffs. And, that's what kids play for, the opportunity to get in the playoffs. And again, we've seen some crazy things happen in the playoffs. You never know if you can, pull an upset here as a 6, 7, or 8 seed. And, maybe some guys get back healthy and some guys come back, and maybe your kids get a little more comfortable in their roles, and you have a chance.
100%. Both of these teams trying to get to Hofstra around the Thanksgiving weekend. Second and long, Mozawala. Lofts it over the middle. It's Padula. He makes the catch and is down at the 15-yard line. Huge pickup for Padula. And Syosset starting to hum on offense and the passing game.
Yeah, Port just called a timeout, and I'm assuming their coaches said nothing behind you. And McCarthy, unfortunately, is staring in the backfield. Padula does a great job of selling his route to the outside, hits the post, and Mo throws an outstanding ball right over his inside shoulder. The Port coaching staff is not going to be happy after the timeout that they let a ball go over their heads there. Huge play for Syosset, changing the momentum of the game in the first half.
Gain of 52. Mozawala. Play action on first down. Padula again. Makes the catch. Has a seam. Loses the football. Port Washington jumps on top of it. And after a big-time play by Padula, he coughs it up, and the Vikings take over.
That was a touchdown right there. So Padula catches the little tunnel screen here. Here he comes, back and forth. Blockers out in front. He makes a man miss, and it looked like he hit his own guy right there, and he just coughed it up, and he wasn't able to recover it. Feel bad for that kid. 2 huge plays, would have been a touchdown there. Unfortunately, he just bumped into his own teammate, and the ball popped out.
Some friendly fire. That was Sean Dillon on the blocking assignment. Ball came loose. And here come the Vikings again.
Yeah, it's a game of turnovers here. Syosset finally gets a little momentum. They get a drive going that looked like a walk-in touchdown there, and unfortunately for them, they cough it up. So now Port has 2 things here. Syosset has 3 timeouts. Port's got to get at least 1 first down here because they don't want to go 3 and out and give Syosset the ball back inside their own 50. So Port's got to decide, what are they going to do with this first down play? Is Syosset going to come after them and they're going to take a little shot? Or are they going to try to run the ball 3 times, force Syosset to take their timeouts, and then punt the ball and hope their defense can withstand what Syosset's going to throw at them?
Let's not forget that Port Washington won the toss, but they deferred. So an opportunity for Port Washington to get on the board twice. They're just looking to get on for the first time as McCarthy keeps it himself, pitches it back, and Behan on the option gets a pickup of 7. And the clock continues to roll down, pushed out of bounds by Hargrave and Mandel.
Yeah, Port decided to go back to that option play that they had some yards earlier with. McCarthy kept it. A little bit of a risky pitch there. He had a man right next to him, but he executed it, pitch, and now we're 2nd and 2. Just what Port wanted.
McCarthy drops it off. Up the middle, Sarkeesian again. He's got a first down as the clock continues to tick away. 2:45 and rolling.
So Port got out of, inside the 10 here, so they got a first down. I'd expect them to run the ball. If they get another big run here, maybe they start throwing. But they don't want to take the chance and slow down the clock. Same play.
Up the middle, that's Munoz with the takedown.
McCarthy might have been able to pull that. Looked like the read, if he would have kept it, he would have had some room to the outside there. But he gave the ball again, and again, the clock is still ticking. I'm surprised Syosset didn't take a timeout there. The offense took some big shots and had some plays. Their defense has been playing pretty good so far. I would expect them, if they get nothing here, for them to take a timeout.
2nd down and 7. McCarthy.
There's your shot.
It near side, off the hands of Stevenson. What we're seeing on the 2 deep plays for McCarthy, he's throwing the ball a lot more inside. And are you noticing anything mechanical, or do you think it's a misread by the wide receiver?
Well, let's see here. So it looks like it's just a straight drop back. He just takes this 3-step drop, and he doesn't. You see, he kind of jumps there. He doesn't really get his feet underneath him. And unfortunately, Stevenson had an opportunity to get that ball. He jumped up. It just bounced off his hands. If he would have been able to pull it in, I think he pulls away and he hits it. So now Port is 3rd and long. The clock stopped. Syosset didn't have to take it. And this is a big play here. Do you take a shot? Do you get a little pass? Or do you run the ball and force Syosset to take a timeout and punt? See how aggressive the coaching staff wants to be. I'd come back with that option. They've run it twice. There it is. Little zone read. McCarthy kept it. There he goes.
And he's got a first down. McCarthy shoved out of bounds as well. But the Vikings continue to move the chains.
Yeah, real smart play call there. You got it into McCarthy's hand. Let him make the decision. If he gives it, so be it. It's a run. Maybe you get a couple yards. He has a nice zone read there. Keeps it along the outside. And now Port has 2 minutes to go. And now they can start throwing if they like. Because now they move the ball a little bit more out of their own zone.
McCarthy. Nowhere to go. Clock continues to run under 100 seconds to go.
And I don't mind that play call. Everyone thinks, this is Tom Brady, the NFL, or Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. High school kids, it's very hard to get them to sell all these routes and do that. So they run the ball, it stays in bounds, the clock's ticking. You don't want to. McCarthy has not thrown the ball very well tonight, so you don't want to put him in a position where he's just chucking the ball up and Syosset gets a turnover. So I would expect Port to run the clock down a little bit.
And you'd have to imagine if Syosset, who has not used their timeouts yet, are probably not going to.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't call a timeout there. See, this is a nice, safe little pass here. This is fine.
And Stevenson down at the 40. And a pickup of 8.
Now, if Port's going to make a run here, they should either get to the line and snap the ball. I think they have one timeout left, or is it 2?
Got one timeout left.
One timeout left, so they're going to try to get to the line as quick as they can. And again, I know it's 3rd and 3, but I'd come back to that read option, see if you get it. There it is. There's your first down.
Sarkisian gets the first down.
See, I think if they're going to take their shot now, what they should do is come back with that read option, give the fake again, and then see if you can pop it behind the Syosset guys. You're going to see the safety start dropping here.
Play action. McCarthy gets past Dillon, still on his feet, and down at the 45-yard line.
And now you got to call your timeout.
So there is the timeout for Port Washington with 9 seconds to go.
So they just ran that zone read again, see what they can get. Again, I like that call.
Let's step aside. 9 seconds to go in the half.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, presented by Orland & Cohen. They reset the clock to 21 seconds, so almost double the time that was left. Initially that we thought. So McCarthy back to pass, airing it
Left
towards the end
again.
zone. Double coverage, intercepted. Carter Mandel with the takeaway. Still on his feet. Mandel trudging forward and is down at the 36-yard line.
So they went trips to one side and tried to single up the receiver, but again, McCarthy left the ball inside and the safety snuck over there and took the ball away, which is, Syosset's going to drop their safeties there. They know they got to take a shot, and Port took their shot, and Mandel made a nice play. So with 8 seconds left here, Syosset's going to figure out, I think Mo's throwing the ball pretty well, and Padulo's been catching. So I'd expect Port to be way off. So maybe a quick little hitter, see if you can get out of bounds, or you call a quick timeout and then maybe take a shot. I don't know how aggressive the coaching staff wants to be with the offense not humming just yet, but let's see what they do.
Ozawa 3 for 8 with 74 yards in the first half.
You can see Port's real deep. So if they throw a quick pass to Padulo, maybe they'll try that double pass again, but I don't know. There you go. So throw the ball out here to Padulo, see if he can get some yards, call a quick timeout, and maybe chuck it up.
Ozawa dropping back, pocket collapses, on his feet, flag is down, and he scurries out of bounds with 2 seconds left, but will await the penalty. And I'd have to imagine if it's, and another flag afterwards.
I don't know what that second flag was for. The first one, as Mo started to scramble, they threw the flag, so I'm going to assume that might be holding. And then the second flag came after he ran out of bounds on the bench, so I'm going to assume someone in Port said something or did something as he ran out of bounds, and someone's going to get an unsportsmanlike on the call.
You see the officials in there. You'd have to imagine that if it goes against Syosset, they probably just take a knee at that point.
Yeah, that's smart football. You don't want anything silly to happen. You don't want a turnover or a bad snap or something. So let's see what the calls are.
Foul on both teams. This is where my lip reading comes in, and I'm terrible at it.
So they're going to be offsetting.
So there's holding against Syosset.
Oh, they called.
And personal fouls.
Yeah, so let's see. So Mo's looking deep here. He drops. Port has everybody deep. He scrambles. There's the hold up to the top of the screen. And as Mo, there's the flag right there for the hold. And as Mo's running out of bounds, everything looks okay. And something must have been said, pushing, shoving, or somebody said something about somebody. And, we always used to tell kids, when kids start mouthing off, don't say anything, And the second guy always gets caught saying something or doing something, just tell us and we'll tell the refs what's going on. And Syosset's going to take a knee here to end this half.
So the knee is down, and that is that. 24 minutes in the books. We're still scoreless. Syosset and Port Washington. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll speak to first-year athletic director Scott Stuber on the Varsity Media Sports Network, powered by Orland and Cohen.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland and Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCASTs.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event...
Halftime here at Syosset High School. You're watching Friday Night Lights, presented by Orland and Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Port Washington and Syosset still scoreless. And now we have the pleasure of being joined by Scott Stuber, first-year athletic director at Syosset, coming over from Valley Stream. And there's so many accomplishments that just go into tonight, and we'll talk about it in a moment. But I'd have to imagine, as an AD, you have to be proud of the showing tonight.
This is an amazing event. It's been a great couple of months as I transitioned over here to Syosset, and being a part of this community and this celebration, it's great.
First year Syosset has lights. First homecoming on a Friday night and a carnival since 1991, which, is a long ways away. What did it take to get this night going, and how proud are you of the staff that put it together?
The staff at Syosset is exceptional. They take great pride in the academics. They take great pride in the athletic program. The community was super supportive in the lights. It really did not take a lot on my part. I'm just part of facilitating it. So it's a team effort, and everyone's on board.
You should just take the credit. Just say it was all you. No, but seriously, there are a lot of high schools out there in the tri-state area. They don't have lights, and then there are some schools that take it as a luxury. But I think it just adds to the atmosphere of a Friday night, a good community feel, because that's what you're getting at Syosset. Was that what you were going for, getting that atmosphere and family-like or neighborhood-like?
Yeah, no, this, having been to a couple of games last spring here in Syosset, all talking to the veteran coaches, and I have a great staff. They all said this is what the community needs, and you got to trust the coaches who've been here. And I can see it right now. You talk to the people, some of the alumni that are back here, they love it. They said they haven't seen a game like this in a long time. You see all the young cheerleaders coming out. We had 200 kids from the elementary schools supporting our program. It's a game changer.
And, I've heard from a little birdie that this is one of the best kick lines on Nassau County. You're with them every day. What's it like to see that growth?
Yeah, they are, returning national champions, but I will tell you, they put the time in, and you're going to see it right now. They are fantastic, and they put a lot of work in. Coach Ross, Coach Miller do an exceptional job, and they're fun to watch.
So I'm not going to ask you for a prediction for the second half because I think I know where you're swaying, but this has been a fun football team to watch this year too. How proud are you of the effort that they've been given week after week?
They're exceptional. They've been in every game. They don't stop. Coach Rourke and his staff do a great job preparing for these games. They take it serious. They put the time in, and they put the time in the off season. So, it's a grind, and they have a tough schedule being a 5 seed. And every team they play is a good team, and they've competed. I mean, sometimes they're not always successful when you look at the scoreboard, but it's not from a lack of effort.
Definitely. As you see the kick line there, I'll ask you 2 more, and then I'll let you go. When it comes to just recultivating that neighborhood atmosphere, and in year 1, I know that was probably something that you wanted to put at the list. So you have 1 fall season under the books now. What are the plans for the future for the rest of this year and beyond?
We're just trying to get the kids in the school first to buy in, and we're starting to get that. You come to our volleyball games. The football team and the soccer teams, they support them. You're starting to see that from being involved with the whole athletic program, not just an individual sport, you're starting to see that. The volleyball games are great. So hopefully that transitions into the winter sports with wrestling, football, fencing, and all the other things we're doing in the winter. And we just continue to grow that school spirit.
Definitely should be fun. And I know the kick lines there, we'll stay on them, but we saw a shot of the carnival before. Any recommendations?
I'm a big fan of Zeppelin's. I heard they have some pretty good dough products over there. The sausage and peppers were good for dinner. And it's a great atmosphere. I'm really excited to be a part of it.
I thought I saw you on the slingshot. Can you confirm or deny if that was you?
Deny. No rides for me.
Okay. That's Scott Stuber. That's the defending national champion kick line team for Syosset High School. We're scoreless at the half, Scott. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be back on the Varsity Media Sports Network getting ready for the second half.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCASTs.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCASTs.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Third quarter set to begin here at Syosset High School. You're watching Nassau Football Conference 1, presented by Orland & Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Alongside Island Trees coach Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. And Roddy, we talk about how jumbled the Nassau Conference 1 standings are, and let's take a look at them too. We're talking about all the scenarios for Syosset and Port Washington to get into the dance. This just looks like a bunch of numbers, and I feel like the Zach Galifianakis meme with all the numbers going through them in 21. Can you break this down for me?
Yeah, so what happens with the PowerPoints is you get points based on your wins and then the winning percentage of the teams that you beat. So if you have a team that you beat with a very good record, like if I look at Baldwin, and Baldwin's 5-1, and let's say I'm Port Washington and I'm 3-3, but I beat Baldwin. At the end of the year, I'm getting those percentages. I'm getting that winning percentage to factor into my PowerPoints. So it's better to beat a team above you, but you never want to beat teams that are below you, because then that's going to drop your PowerPoints down. So if you look at this, you obviously have the top 4 teams will be in some sort of, they'll probably fall into those top 4 in some semblance there. And in between 5 and it looks like about 8, you're separated by 1 point, with Valley Stream Central coming in at the end. So what this is going to come down to basically is, who did you play and who did they beat Because if you look at Hicksville at 0-6, if you beat them, you're getting no power points. But if you beat a team like Hempstead that's 5-1, you're going to get those extra power points. So the formula is set up so that teams that pre-seed themselves low can't jump teams that have a higher preseason seed and play tougher teams. It's supposed to balance each other out. But it does give those teams an opportunity to get it if those higher seeded teams falter. So it's the fairest way to possibly do it.
Right, which makes sense why you see Freeport at number 6, but they're 2-4 for their record, and then you've got East Meadow down at 3-3 at the 10 seed. So that's where the power points really come in. So moving ahead for Port, we know how important it is for both of these two teams, but based on these rankings, Port Washington will take on East Meadow next week, and Syosset takes on Farmingdale. A win tonight for Syosset and a win against Farmingdale would do huge things for the Braves, and we'll see how that goes for Syosset.
So, like any sport, obviously you want to win every game. So whoever wins tonight is in the driver's seat because instead of being 3-3 with the other 5 teams, you're 4-3. And Syosset has a harder road because they have to play Farmingdale, but East Meadow's a good team too, and they're well coached as well. So it starts with this half here for both teams. If they can get to 4-3, you worry about next week. You're worried about what you can do tonight to get the victory. And then you worry about the power points and who beats who and whatever. But either way, you got to sell to your kids. Let's win tonight, and then we'll worry about next week.
Robert Crean will kick it off. We saw probably a little too much of him in the first half because he was punting. Now he'll kick it off. But you want to just talk about the athleticism of Crehan. He's got a 4.6 40 time, a guy that has gone to kicking camps across the country, New Hampshire, Bowling Green, Robert Morris, pace, as the kick will go out of bounds. But it'll be interesting to see the kicking future for Robert Crehan the rest of the way, as Port Washington and John McCarthy will come back on for the Vikings. But you know what, Roddy? It's always good to have an extra asset and a kicker that can knock it in from 40 plus.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of teams don't have. Unfortunately for him, he popped the ball up and he kicked it out of bounds. So Port's going to start the ball with really good field position. But if you can get a soccer kid or a kid that's committed to kicking and he gives you an advantage with field position, that's a huge thing, for each team. And I know I said this a couple of weeks ago when I announced the game, but you have to have offense, defense, and your special teams are going to win a game or two, whether it's punt returns, kick returns, or your kicker just changing the field position. So unfortunately for him, he popped it up and it popped it right out of bounds, and now Port has great starting field position to start the second half.
1st and 10 from the 37. McCarthy back out on offense.
They're coming out, spreading the field on Syosset. Sweet.
And first play for McCarthy, takes it himself, runs far side.
Nice tackle.
And picks up 3.
Nice tackle by the corner out there.
McCarthy in the first half, 8 carries for 11 yards. Only had 3 completions to his own team through 2 interceptions for 21 yards. There's 2 receivers on the near side. And McCarthy, quick pass, hauled in. Jake Siciliano gets a first down and is wrestled at midfield.
So Port winning at halftime, and it looks like they adjusted by pretty much going 5 wide here. First one is a run by McCarthy to the outside, and then a quick little curl. You'll see here, he just grabs the ball. The receiver comes out and does about a 5-yard curl, puts his foot in the ground, throws it. Nice catch, fights for a couple of yards, and gets the first down.
5th reception of the season for Siciliano.
And Port staying with this 5 wide look, trying to spread out Syosset, see how they cover everything. Gives you a little space to run if you want, or you can just do little bubbles and jets. Counter.
Bumping, moving up. Runs into a black wall. As McCarthy still on his feet. And is denying a chance to be taken down. He picks up 5.
Yeah, that was just a quarterback counter to the inside. They faked the jet to the short side of the field. And it should have been about a 1-yard gain, but McCarthy kept his feet going, and he gained about 5 there. Good play by him to keep his feet churning and put Port in second and short. So Syosset's still staying with a 7-man box. So you have the 4 down linemen and the 3 linebackers. 27's moving out a little bit. But there's room to do quick passes and get it the ball to the wide side and see if your receiver can make something happen like this.
Quick pass, swung over. Harry Behan, spin move, still on his feet, gets the first down. Behan had himself a big first half and makes his first catch of the second half count.
So, again, they're spreading them out here. They're watching what they're doing. Here comes a little bubble. And, again, you're trying to get your athletes outside in space. So now what Port's watching is Syosset going to move linebackers out and take guys out of the box? If they do that, they'll come back with the run. If not, they'll continue with these little bubbles and allow their skill guys like Behan to catch the ball and make something happen.
Third catch for Behan of the night. He's got 21 receiving yards. 1st and 10 from the 38. McCarthy takes it himself, spurrying ahead, and close to a first down as McCarthy just continues to run. You have to remember that for McCarthy, this is his first full season of his varsity career. He had a broken hand his sophomore year. Then he had the COVID year, which, of course, that affected everybody. So this is really his first opportunity as the full-time signal caller for Port Washington, and he's a guy that is just so athletic. And Kevin Claugesi says, well, with the injuries, the lack of depth and whatnot, let's put our best athlete at quarterback. But he got swarmed up and taken down. That's Jake Cohen.
Nice play by the Syosset defense. So it seems like every time Port goes into a pistol, meaning that the running back's behind the quarterback, as you see here, they're going to run zone read. And the line didn't really give them too much blocking up front. And Syosset swarms in and causes a big play. So now it's 3rd and long. See if Port's going to spread them out again.
Let's make some noise for that defense out there.
False start.
Port Washington jumped, moves them back 5, and another penalty for the Vikings.
So this is going to bring it down to 3rd and 14. So their offense has been based on McCarthy, gaining yards here. So I would run a play where he's going to get the ball and make a decision, whether it's an option or a rollout. Put him in space where he can make something happen. But keep the ball in McCarthy's hands. Let him make a decision.
7th penalty called against Port Washington. So it's up 3rd and 14 at the 42-yard line. Haven't really seen Port Washington in the red zone tonight. McCarthy with time, floats it, far side, he's got a man. Behan makes the catch, still on his feet, and is downed at the 20-yard line.
Nice ball there. I was watching the play, and Port got away. Their lineman pulled all the way downfield like it was some sort of screen, 74 here. But if you watch, they just run a little concept, like a flood concept, and the linebacker jumps the short route, which opens up the deep route, and Behan makes a good catch.
22-yard gain for Behan.
Yeah, Port got lucky there. Their lineman was about 10 yards down the field. Refs didn't see it.
Behan denied up the middle, still gets a yard, but is taken down on the other side for Syosset.
So Port runs that little jet sweep, but they flip the ball in front because that's a pass. So if he drops it, it's a pass, it's an incomplete. If they hand it off and they fumble, that's a fumble. So that's why teams, will put that in as a little flip pass. So that way it prevents any fumbling from going on. They're trying to get outside on the jet. Unfortunately, they didn't. Good stop by Syosset.
Under 7 minutes and rolling, we're scoreless. 2nd down and 9 from the 19. McCarthy.
He's got him again.
Fires, far side, it's caught. Jake Siciliano.
Nice tackle.
And ripped down. John Munoz with first contact. Andy Zaletta had the assistance. And that'll bring up 3rd and long after the gain of 1.
Nice tackle by Munoz there. So Port came back with a trip set. They tried to run the same flood concept to the top. This time the linebacker dropped on the deeper guy, and then Munoz came up and took the short guy for a short gain. So again, 2 downs here. It's 3rd and short. Go with a play that you think you can get 5 yards to come back in 4th and short. Again, personally, put the ball in McCarthy's hands, whether he's going to run or a read option or whether he rolls out. Let him make decisions. He's the catalyst of your whole offense.
3 receivers on the near side. As McCarthy gets the extra blocker, pocket collapses, flushed out of it, takes it himself, has a first down, and loses the ball out of bounds. But Big John McCarthy moving the chains again to set up 1st and goal.
So that looked like a broken play. Number 4 came in here. If you watch, it looks like he's looking for a reverse. I think he got his signals mixed up. And McCarthy, like I said, you got to give the ball to your best player. He scrambles, makes a fantastic play, falls forward for the first down.
First and goal from the 7. McCarthy up the middle. Pick up a 4.
So Syosset defense did a good job there. Last time that Port ran that formation, they ran quarterback sweep to the short side. This time Syosset's defense forces him back inside to his teammates. Even though we got a couple of yards, they didn't let him get outside. Big stop here. 2nd and goal from about the 5.5. This is where they run zone read. McCarthy gets the ball. See if he runs zone read. There it is.
So McCarthy, the handoff. Up the middle. Touchdown, Port Washington. Christian Sarkeesian, the sophomore, opens up the scoring as the Vikings take a 6-0 lead on the road.
So, again, you're putting Syosset in a very tough position here. You see on the replay, McCarthy's going to run zone read. They're in their pistol. He takes the ball. He's reading that defensive end. The defensive end comes up, doesn't make the tackle. But because McCarthy's been running the ball, you got to hesitate and worry about him, and you give the ball to the running back, and he finishes off the play. Nice drive by Port to get on the board.
Troy Stevenson to kick the extra point. McCarthy on the hold. Snap is down, kick is up, end over end, and he drilled it. Port Washington strikes first. With just over 5 minutes to go in the third, we'll step aside. You're watching Nassau Conference 1 football presented by Orland and Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Christian Sarkeesian with a 3-yard TD run to open up the scoring for Port Washington. As we finally see some scoring from either one of these squads. And for Port Washington, offense has been hard to come by. They've only scored 19 points the last 2 weeks. But their defense has held a good Syosset team that has scored 67 points over the last couple of weeks to zilch. And they had a long drive to start off the second half, Roddy, and for Syosset, now it's response time.
Yeah, Port came out with a fantastic drive. They gave the ball to McCarthy and let him make plays, right? So now Syosset has to get the ball to their guys and see if they can make something happen.
Nick Padula wrestled down at the 25-yard line. And then a whistle afterwards and a flag. And this might be unsportsmanlike on Hayden Nadboy. Saw that flag come in after the play. As the two refs discuss it.
I'll tell you, one of the things as a coach, whether the referees are calling the game tight or loose or whatever, I really like when the referees come together to discuss what they saw, what they think. It just gives you as a coach the idea that they know what they saw and they're going to discuss it. There's nothing worse than a ref makes the call and he doesn't. You ask him, hey, talk to your partners, talk to this, and they don't, I got it, I know everything. So I like watching the referees converse and figure out what they saw and coming together. And unsportsmanlike like that, most of the time they'll call it on both sides, and usually the refs will pull the kids aside and let them know, hey, knock it off, let's get back to playing football. All right, what can Syosset do here? They got to respond. Under 5 minutes. Mo's been throwing the ball pretty good to Padulo. I would think you have to get the ball to those two players and, see if they'll come out in the power running or if they're going to throw the ball up.
So a lot of Will Cawley in the first quarter, have not really seen him the last 2 quarters. As Mozawala pumps, Now caresses it and is taken down. That was Bobby Gammons, the junior, with the takedown.
So Mo kind of set quick, like he was looking for a quick pass. It looked like the Port linebacker dropped to his flat and took it away, and then the pass rush just got to him.
So -3 for Syosset. Sets up 2nd and 13. Syosset last week, a 1-point loss to Freeport. Currently 7th based on power rankings in the conference standings. As Mozawala looking to the sideline and not getting the play right away. Alarm hasn't gone up yet for the final 10 seconds.
This is taking a lot of time here.
Man in motion, Padula. They flip it to him. And Padula with momentum. Charges forward and is taken down by McCarthy at the 40-yard line. That's a pickup of 16. And Braves continue to move the chains.
So Syosset goes 4 wide. They run the jet sweep. Good block there by number 12. Padula gets to the outside. He almost gets it, but McCarthy comes around following him because he was in man-to-man. Makes a good tackle to stop it. Quick play here, a little screen.
As Cawley gets pushed out of bounds. That's a pickup of 11.
So Syosset lined up quick. It looked like they ran a little screen to Cawley there.
Kyle Montaghi and William Henry with the blocks. And it looks like we've got a player down for Port Washington. Well, that play was so fast, and we'll see who's down. But for Syosset, like we mentioned, they're down 7-0, moving the ball pretty quickly, and you see a hurry-up offense. And, you know, we talked about this last time, Roddy, about how you only get so much practice time during the week that you really don't get a chance to practice your hurry-up offense. And for Syosset, I think we're seeing it here, but they've been pretty efficient. As let's take a look at Syosset's schedule so far this year. But you know what? We haven't seen the hurry-up offense in the first half. We're starting to see it in the second half, and could be a big thing next week against Farmingdale, regardless of this result.
Yeah, so most coaches will put, they'll have periods where they'll put in a 2-minute. Usually you'll practice it on a Monday after a game. Just go over what you think is going to work, what the defense is going to put up. Are they going to be cover 2, man, zone, whatever you think. And you go through those plays, and then you'll hit on it again. You never know when you're going to need it, right? So it's better to be over-prepared than under. And Syosset came real quick on that last play, and it was a nice little play. It looks like most teams that run the spread offense have a little hurry-up. They'll call it turbo or NASCAR or something a little bit quick like that. And they'll just give it, each play will have like a one-word thing. You know, you might call it Nissan. You might call it, Danny Zuko or whatever it might be. And you just have a 1 or 2 word phrase, and the kids know they hear that name, bam, they're coming to it. I had to get Danny's name in there.
I have to get him in there. Tell me more.
That's right. Sandy's out there somewhere.
1st and 10 from the 47. Mozawala back to pass, floats it.
He's
got a man. It's Mandel. He's got it inside the 5. Carter Mandel with a big pickup of 42. And the Braves are in the red zone. It'll be 1st and goal.
So it looked like the corner Siciliano got hurt on that last play. Syosset picked up on that, and they sent their guy deep right against the sub. And he ran right by the gentleman, the kid that came in, and a big play for Syosset. You hate to see kids get hurt, but as a coach, if you see a sub come in, you're going to try to take a chance and go against the kid that's subbing in. And that's what they did there.
Yeah, as Jake Siciliano had to come off for a play, and Mozawala was ready to go and then got pulled back by the coaching staff.
I'd expect a heavy dose of Cawley here.
So 1st and goal from the 3.
Power to the top.
And a flag, as I think Syosset was trying to call a timeout. Didn't get it off, and they should push it back 5.
I think they had 12 guys on the field.
Yeah, Syosset not happy. Well, coaching staff not happy with that, as it pushes them back 5 yards. And I know you don't want to give up the yardage, but it could open up some passing. No, they pick up the flag. How about that? So as the replay's being shown here, let's take another look. Carter Mandel, like you said, going past the secondary and getting some space.
Yeah, so, again, the coaching staff saw that the sub came in. They took an opportunity, and they just ran a vertical route to the short side of the field. And Mo threw a great ball, and good play, good catch. So now they picked up the flag for 12 in the huddle. They're saying Syosset called a timeout first. But now Port's going to be pissed off about that because Syosset had 12. They noticed it, but they did break the huddle, so the penalty should have been called. Syosset got away with one there. Again, I commended these officials earlier on by saying they discussed it. Now he picked up the flag without talking to his, to the guys on his staff here, and the refs should have probably come together and made a decision on that. I think that was a flag. They should have kept it.
Yeah, interesting to pick it up at that juncture, but for Syosset, an opportunity to tie it up against a Port Washington defense that has stifled them all evening.
So when Syosset did come out with 12 guys, they did line up in that power formation they had some success with earlier, where they ran power behind the H-back or the sniffer, whatever you'd like to call him. So it looks like if they come out in that formation again, look for the power to the top of the screen or to the right-hand side here.
So first and goal from the 3. Syosset has 11 on the field.
So now it's power to the left.
Ozawala with Cauley in the backfield.
There it is. Touchdown.
Gives it to Cauley up the middle, and Syosset answers back. Will Cauley with the TD from 3 yards out. And Syosset sees the Vikings 7 and has 6 of their own.
So they just ran power. So here it is. They go tight end. They have the power back. There's the guard pulling. And Cauley just follows his box and gets in. And thank goodness. I thought this was going to be like Thursday Night Football with no scoring. We finally got 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. And here we go.
Robert Crehan drills the extra point, and we are tied with 2:40 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Syosset answers back with Will Cauley's second TD of the year. From 3 yards out, Robert Crehan knocked in the extra point. And we're right back where we started, 7-7 with 2:19 to go in the third quarter. Alongside Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. And, well, Roddy, it looked like the faucet was turned off in the first half, and both of these offenses came out swinging to start the third.
I think they got back to, here's what happens at halftime. You got to look at what your game plan is and decide what they're giving you, right? I think both coaching staffs went in at halftime and they came out with a plan. Port went with 5 wide, and Syosset just decided to throw the ball.
Sarkisian with the muff punt, and Behan is denied.
That's a big fumble for Port here. They recovered it, but now they're inside their 10.
And Sarkisian, the guy that scored the touchdown for Port Washington, makes the mistake, and the Vikings have 89 yards to go. With just over 2 minutes left in the third. And we talked about him all night, John McCarthy. Let's meet the young man. Favorite artist, future, favorite movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and favorite athlete. How about this, DeBrickashaw Ferguson?
A lineman, huh? Especially as a skilled guy. He likes the lineman. I'm assuming because he's a Long Island guy.
Former Jet.
He must be a Jet guy, too. So, hey, last time Port had the ball, they put the ball in McCarthy's hands and they said, get us to where we need to go, and he got him in. I would expect Syosset's defensive coordinator to say, let's stop McCarthy here. Here comes a zone read.
Here's McCarthy.
Broken play, and he makes something happen.
And he'll get the first down as McCarthy burrows forward. Well, John McCarthy comes at you quick, and if you don't tackle him, you're going to miss him. That was the best I could do.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So, again, if I'm Syosset, I'm concentrating on him. Let them run on the inside, but you got to stop McCarthy. They did it in the first half. Now they're giving him some room, and to his credit, on some broken plays, he's just making people miss. Inverted veer.
Up the middle, McCarthy. Again, another first down. And a pickup of 14.
So on that play, I'm sorry, John. So on that play, if you look at the replay, what they're going to do is they're faking a sweep here. He's reading the sweep, seeing what the D tackle does, and then he really rode the halfback there for a very long time, decided to pull. And again, Syosset has to, don't worry about the running back. Stop McCarthy. When in doubt, go get him. 2 good plays by him, 2 good calls by the coaching staff, getting the ball to their best player.
1st and 10 from the 42. Pair of receivers on each side. McCarthy play action, fires far side. Behan, another catch, and a pickup of 3.
Yeah, just another bubble. So the coaching staff and McCarthy are reading the play. If they feel Syosset doesn't have enough guys covering on the outside, they throw it out there. Keeps Syosset honest, keeps their linebackers shifting to the outside, so that way McCarthy can run the ball.
Sean Dillon with the tackle for Syosset. He's done a good job on the D-line today. 2nd down and 7. McCarthy, quick pass, Behan, dropped it.
Right in his hands. That would have been a first down there for them. So what Syosset's doing is they're shifting their linebacker to the wide side of the field. So if Port wants to take advantage of the short side like they tried to there's only 2 guys in coverage and they're deep off, so they can get those curls if they want it. 3rd down, the Syosset blitz here, they play coverage. And what does Port do? They give the ball to McCarthy and let him run here, roll him out, and let him make something happen.
See what happens with a couple receivers on each side. He'll fire again and pass batted down. Knocked away by Will Henry. We talked about Henry doing a good job on the offensive line, filling in for the injured Conrad Zeng, but on defense, he's made his presence known tonight.
Yeah, great play by him. So Port saw what I saw and what I said, and they actually went back to the same exact play. But Henry, as he was on his pass rush, saw the quick set, put his hands up, and knocked the ball down. Big play by the Syosset defense.
And a straight punt for Port Washington as they line up in the special teams formation. Last 2 punts for them was McCarthy just taking a step back and
he did pretty good. Oh, this could be.
And Stevenson, as Troy Stevenson gets it across midfield, and takes a Vikings bounce. And downed by Sarkeesian. With just 13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, Syosset will take over at their own 23-yard line.
So the good news for Port is Siciliano's coming back out here, their starting corner, the one that Syosset took advantage of on the sub the last time when he got hurt. He seems like he's okay. He's back in the game. So let's see what Syosset's going to do here. Who are they going to pick on and what are they going to decide to do?
Well, if you're enjoying this game and you've got nothing to do this weekend, a lot on the plate this weekend. More Catholic taking on St. Francis Prep tomorrow night under the lights. Manhasset against Plain Edge next Friday night. New Hyde Park and Garden City Saturday afternoon. And then Saturday night, St. Peter's taking on Christ the King in the NYC HSFL. 3 quarters in the books here at Syosset High School. We're tied at 7, and we will step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Fourth quarter set to begin as Syosset on their first play gives it to Will Cawley up the middle. He picks up 3. 7-7 game. We were scoreless through the first half, and it was Christian Sarkeesian from 3 yards out, putting Port Washington in front 7-0. Will Cawley and the rest of the Braves offense drove right down the field. Cawley scoring from 3 yards out to tie it up at 7. And that's where we stand right now as Mo Mozawala back out on offense for the Braves. Mozawala, quick pass, hauled in.
First down.
As that pickup is Carter Mandel. And a flag afterwards. And you'd have to imagine somebody said the magic words on the sideline. And Roddy, you're a coach. Can't be too happy with your team. Either way.
Yeah, let's see who this is on. Again, we talked about it earlier. You got to control your kids and you got to tell them to be smart. Let's see who this goes against. And like you said, it's the magic words. If kids say certain things or get in kids' face or they taunt each other, they're going to call it. Personally, I'd rather them, talk to the kid and say, hey, knock it off. And unfortunately, it's going against Syosset here. And I'm sure he was the second guy. I'm sure the Port got a little push or did something or said something or whispered something. And as usual, the second guy gets caught, and the Syosset guy must have said something, and there it is.
Must have been a pretty loud whisper if you're going to throw the flag.
Like we tell our kids, we understand that kids are going to say something, your mama wears combat boots. You got to walk away and just say, no, she doesn't. You can't talk and yell something back at them. So, unfortunately for Syosset, something was said, and that cost them. It was a first down. Even though they still have the first down, it's still pushing them back 10 yards.
So 1st and 10 from the 21. Minute gone by. In quarter number 4, we're tied at 7. Darren Costa subs in for Syosset.
So Syosset should get the ball to Cawley or Padullo. Those are their 2 biggest threats. See if the staff comes up with something. He's got
Walla looking deep, fires. It's hauled in, Zaletta.
Oh, he fumbled.
Andy Zaletta fumbles the ball. We'll see who has it, and they say Syosset retains possession.
So see if we get a replay here, but this is very similar to what Port did. Yep. So here we come. They're in a trip set, running back to the right. They're going to roll out Mo here. Padullo's just really clearing out, and there's the short route. You see the safety jump the short route, and there's the second route right behind him. Nice catch. McCarthy with a nice hit, knocked the ball away. But a good play by Syosset. They get that first down, and they have a little momentum here. Again, look for them to get the ball to Padullo or to Cawley. If they want, McCarthy is 15 yards off Padullo here down to the short side.
Second fumble of the night for Syosset, but they retain it themselves as that was Michael Rasciuto, the senior, getting his first carry of the evening as he gains 2.
I'm sure the Syosset coaching staff saw that Padullo has man-to-man. I know it's McCarthy, and he's a very good athlete, but he was playing way off down here. That's like taking candy from a baby. You put a play call in, you call it, I'm looking at Skittles, Starburst, M&Ms, whatever you want to call there. You call that, you're giving your quarterback free reign to throw a little curl, get it to your best player, and let him make something happen. So Padullo's in the slot here.
Ozawala looking that way. Pocket collapses, and he's taken down in the backfield. It's a sack. Andrew Neuwirth with the big takedown.
So you won't notice this because we got the sack, but the linebacker, Alexander here, watch as Padullo does his crossing route. 50 hits him right there, and that's where Mo's looking. That throws off the timing. Mo has to tuck the ball, and the Port defense gets a big sack. But that's all on Alexander there. He made a fantastic play by bumping Padullo crossing and allowed his defensive line to make something happen.
So Neuwirth, the super sub, and Alexander The Mike linebacker moved him from defensive end last year, a 2-year varsity starter, wreaking havoc and setting up 3rd and long.
So Port only has 2 guys out there covering 3. They're rolling out on Padula. They're sending him deep.
Ozawala fires, incomplete. Padula was towing the sideline, but was unable to make the catch. And Syosset sends out the punting unit.
Good route, good play call. Again, McCarthy was dropped off playing deep, worried about the posts and the go routes that they've been hitting on him. Unfortunately for Mo, he threw the ball a little bit outside, and they didn't come down with the catch. Good stop by Port. Oh, he popped this one up.
Punt straight up. Towards
get away,
midfield.
get away.
And takes a brave bounce and is downed at the 46-yard line.
Boy, Port got lucky there. Number 27 was sitting there. Usually you have a poison call, which lets your return team know, get away, run to the sideline. And they're lucky that ball didn't bounce off him and Syosset got it. Great field position by Port. Let's see if they can cash something in here.
There's John Munoz with the down. And McCarthy and the rest of the offense returning to the field.
So the last couple of drives, what Port's been doing is rolling McCarthy out and giving him different options. They've had some success on the zone reads. Again, when they've scored their touchdown and they move the ball, he's been a big contributor. So they should give him the ball, let him make decisions, see if they can, put some more points on the board here with about 8.5 left in the 4th quarter.
Port Washington on their last scoring drive wiped out nearly 7 minutes.
They got man-to-man up top if they want it.
And here's McCarthy, takes it himself towards the line of scrimmage, tries to get around Mandel, and Carter Mandel with the tackle.
So McCarthy's run the ball really well tonight. Unfortunately there, he decided to slow down and stop to cut back. He should have just kept on running. He probably would have got 2 or 3 more yards. But again, that's the play call you want. McCarthy has the ball in his hands. Let him make decisions. More often than not, he'll make good ones. There, I think he should have just plowed forward and got a couple. Syosset's putting a lot of guys in the box here to stop McCarthy, as you would expect. They have man-to-man out here. So if they want to take a shot on a little double move, they might be able to hit it out here. They're playing way off. The linebacker, oh, here he comes. He's moving out a little bit. There's the shot.
2nd and 10. McCarthy steps into it, fires downfield. He's got a man, Troy Stevenson, with the touchdown. 54 yards out, and the Vikings go back in front.
So that's what the coaching staff saw. On the first play that they had the slot, they saw that Syosset was a man. They run a double post. Throws a perfect ball. He's been having a tough time all night leaving it inside, but this ball, he wants to leave it inside. Syosset doesn't drop with no deep safety. And what a ball, what a catch, fantastic play. Good call by the coaching staff.
Stevenson, an explosive receiver. Only a 2nd TD catch of the year. And now he'll kick the extra point, looking to complete all 7 points for himself. But what a throw. McCarthy to Stevenson.
Oh, bad snap.
And here's McCarthy. He'll take it himself. Look to pitch it back to Stevenson.
He's got someone. He's
now
got
fires
someone.
To the end zone.
Oh, we went
it's
down.
Caught, but Nadboy could not get into the end zone. And the 2-point conversion.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't look good. That poor kid. Don't show that. Don't show that.
So Nadboy shaken up.
I don't know if that's a cramp. That doesn't look like. Please be a cramp.
Well, while they tend to him, Port Washington will go back to the sideline, and we will step aside as well. Port Washington in front, 13-7 with 7.5 to go in the 4th quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Port Washington with a 13-7 lead over the Syosset Braves. At the end of the two-point conversion, we saw Hayden Nadboy go down. He did jog off under his own power, so good to see, and we'll keep an eye on number 27 in white. But Port Washington taking the lead. John McCarthy to Troy Stevenson, a 54-yard strike. As the Vikings with the lead with just under 7.5 to go in the fourth quarter.
So Syosset has to kind of do what Port's doing. They're giving the ball to McCarthy and let him make plays. Now you got to give the ball to Mo and Coley and figure out a way to get the ball to Padulo here to tie this game up and then maybe take the lead. That extra point could come back and haunt Port.
So Syosset, like Port Washington, this game's so important, looking for their fourth win of the year, but just looking to move up in the standings. Will set up shop at their own 47-yard line. Now let's take another look at the standings and just how important it is. Syosset at 7, Port Washington at 8. This win would help Port Washington a little more than it would help Syosset, but by only what, 0.33 power points?
Yeah. Again, you have to wait till the end of the week to see what everybody else does and who you beat and who they beat, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, you control each game. So Syosset has 7 minutes to make a statement here and get back into it.
Ozawala out of the gun, taking his time, and now looking.
Padulo's inside on the slot. If they run him on a go route, they might have him right up the seam here. Let's see if they take advantage of it.
Darren Costa and Kevin Hargrave on the near side as well.
There it is. They're going for it.
Mazawala still on his feet, rolling out, tucks and runs, has a first down.
Ooh.
Big Mo with a big collision. And gets a first down and could have had some contact afterwards. Dawson Alexander with the shove after the whistle.
So they try to get Padulo up the seam. Great coverage by Port. And then Mo, being an athlete, takes it outside. And then we have a quarterback versus quarterback here. Watch McCarthy come in, lower shoulder, nice hit. Good clean hit there. Good play by Mo, first down.
A 14-yard gain for Mozawala.
Syosset's trying to sub in here, and the kid's not ready. He's all the way down by the coach. Yeah, they went with something else.
Two receivers up top and two receivers on the near side. Will Cawley in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 39. Cawley up the gut, still on his feet at the 20. The 15 trying to reverse, has a few blocks and is pushed out of bounds at the 6-yard line. A 33-yard gain for Will Cawley, and Syosset back in the red zone.
So Syosset has a run here. Port's blitzing. They run right past because they're looking for a pass, worried about a pass rush. And Cawley breaks it, makes a nice cut. Inside the 10 for Syosset. Give him the ball again.
And they do. Cawley up the middle, powering forward, and goes right into a Viking wall.
Another good run by Cawley. I would expect that Syosset's going to come in with their power formation, their power set. A couple of guys just ran in. Let's see if they run their power play.
Well, we saw this in the third quarter. Port Washington putting points on the board and Syosset marching right down the field. It's the sequel in the fourth quarter.
So here they go. They got their big guys in. They're tight. Power formation.
And Mozawala, the handoff to Cawley. Up the middle, spinning around, touchdown.
Oh, baby. Syosset responds. Big plays.
Cawley's second TD of the night. That's from 5 yards out, and we're tied at 13.
So you got to know Syosset's going to come with their power plays when they need yards, and Cawley just follows the lead blocker. There's the guard pulling, number 71. Great job reading the block, and he gets in to tie this game up. Syosset's a point away from taking the lead.
It's their sure-footed kicker. Crehan drills it through, and the Braves take the lead.
Are your chills multiplying?
A little bit. 14-13 lead for Syosset. 5:30 to go. You're watching Nassau Conference 1 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Syosset with a 14-13 lead over Port Washington. A couple of touchdowns for Will Cawley. And Syosset now 5:07 away from picking up their 4th win of the year. Alongside Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. This has been a presentation of Nassau Conference 1 football, presented by Orland & Cohen. And, well, Roddy, we saw that twice this half. Port Washington has been able to go down the field. They'll get the ball back. They've got just enough time, and they've got their timeouts.
Hey, tale of two halves. The first half, the offenses looked horrible. They couldn't figure out what they were doing, penalties, turnovers. And then we come to the second half, the coaches made some adjustments, put the ball in their better players' hands and said, hey, you guys go win the game for us. So Port, I would expect after this kickoff, is going to get the ball to McCarthy, let him make some plays.
As this is Harry Behan skipping past the 15-yard line and is taken down. And Port Washington takes over with 4:59 to go. As they'll have to go, should be 82 yards down the field. We'll wait for the spot, but John McCarthy, last time out, uncorking a 54-yard strike to Troy Stevenson to give the Vikings the lead. We've seen Port Washington wipe nearly half a quarter off the board in the third quarter. They're a team that's not afraid to be in a rush, and 5 minutes is plenty of time for Port Washington. It might not be enough time for Syosset to carve a response if they can't get a defensive stop.
Yeah, so Syosset has to make a decision. We're going to stop McCarthy by putting guys in the box, or we're going to still play man-to-man. They come out and play man.
This is Behan.
And that's a smart play by Port. You start off with short passes. Hopefully Syosset will come up, and then you take a shot. But again, you let McCarthy make the decisions. You're putting him in positions where he can, make simple plays and simple throws.
So the pickup of 9 sets up 2nd and 1 at the 28-yard line.
Here comes Syosset with a blitz.
Ball fake, McCarthy up the gut. Might have enough for a first down as they move the chains.
So they ran a little zone read here. McCarthy kept it, but Syosset came with the blitz on the outside, which kind of jammed up the play. But McCarthy, being the good runner he is, fell forward, got the first down. New set of downs here.
Two receivers up top, first down from the 30. McCarthy keeps it himself and powers forward for 3. He faked the handoff to Christian Sarkeesian, and the defense read it well. The problem was Sarkeesian didn't have the ball, and Port Washington gained 3.
Yeah, so they went back to their zone read play, and Syosset did a nice job of blitzing right up the middle. They didn't pick him up, and that caused the timing to be a little bit off. But again, McCarthy, being the athlete he was, made a nice play and got them 3 yards. Trips to the top of the screen here. Let's see if Syosset rolls some coverage or if they stay in man. As of right now, they only have 2 guys covering 3 over there. See if the safety slides over that way. Otherwise, they got numbers over there if they want them.
McCarthy to pass. Caught. Stevenson. First down.
So that's taking candy, right? The Hickey candy from the baby. So they noticed that number 10 down here is way off, and they decide to go with the curl. But I'm telling you, Syosset only has 2 covering 3 over on the top. I'm sure the Port guys up top saw that. Don't be surprised if they come back to that. If they get a nice run here and go second and short, they might come back to that trip formation and take another shot there.
Clock still rolling. Port Washington has all 3 of its timeouts.
They're fine. They have plenty of time here. Syosset's now in man-to-man. Here comes the blitz.
Sarkisian in the backfield. McCarthy to pass. Floats it over the middle. And a flag is out.
Boy.
Andy Zaletta will be called for the pass interference. I'm not sure if there was a chance for that ball to be caught, but this will benefit the Vikings.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact, but, Syosset's not going to be happy about this one. Let's see if we can get a replay on that.
So pass interference on Syosset. And a good break for the Vikings.
That's a tough call. That was good contact. In high school, you're allowed to. It's not like the NFL where you have 5 yards and you can't. In high school, you can hit the guys as long as the ball's not in the air. When the ball was in the air, both players were just going for the ball. That's a really tough call against Syosset. But it benefits Port. Let's see what they can do with it.
McCarthy on first down as the pocket collapses. Still behind the line of scrimmage. Fires. He's got a man. It's caught. Jake Siciliano with the big first down. He went off for injury earlier in the quarter and makes the catch.
So again, McCarthy feels the pressure. He steps up in the pocket and scrambles. The Syosset DB stares at McCarthy, and Siciliano comes back to his quarterback and makes a fine play. You know, that's one of those things in practice you go over. When you're worried about the hurry-up offense, you try to tell your defensive backs, hey, when a quarterback scrambles, you stick to your receiver, all right? You're on him like glue, and you want to make sure that you don't let him come back to the ball. And unfortunately for Syosset there, he kind of stared at McCarthy running, and Siciliano got open, and a big play for Port. Port still has plenty of time. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds here. They still got 2 timeouts. They know they got to go for it. I know you mentioned that they have a field goal kicker, but it's a little bit easy if you score a touchdown and make Syosset have to come all the way down.
100%, and then if you're the Vikings, you could go for 2 as well, if that's the route that you try to go and go up 7. But having said that, we're looking at the Syosset huddle. What do you think's being mentioned to the defense?
So, you know, they're playing man-to-man and they're blitzing McCarthy, and McCarthy's just being an athlete, right? You know, he steps up in the pocket there and scrambles and makes an outstanding play while he's rolling out to his right. But, you know, if you let him sit back there, he might pick you apart. So I would expect Syosset to blitz a little more. They had success blitzing up the middle. Keep McCarthy in the pocket. Don't let him scramble. And for Port, keep on doing what you're doing. Give McCarthy the ball, whether it's a running play, a rollout, but let him make decisions. You win with him or you lose with him.
First down from the 25. McCarthy burrowing forward.
First down.
He's been impossible to take down. Another first down for Big John McCarthy.
So just a quarterback sweep. Port sells it on the top. As you see in the replay here, running backs to the right, they're heavy to the top of the screen. Port snaps it, seals the hole outside, and they're going for it again.
Port Washington not wasting any time as McCarthy scampers forward for a gain of 5.
And he gets out of bounds, which saves some clock here.
1:59 to go in the fourth. Port Washington looking to snap a 3-game losing streak.
Now Port should, if I was them, I'd get in a huddle here. Take your time, get your plays. It looks like they're coming in with a little bit of a heavier set. Why is McCarthy coming out of quarterback here?
Well, potential wildcat
I'm going to assume McCarthy's going to come in motion here. They're going to run jet to the top. Seal everything down, give the ball to McCarthy. Oh, there we go.
There's the shift. McCarthy goes back under center. Takes it himself.
Oh.
And gets back to the line of scrimmage. And the clock will continue to roll.
I don't know if that's the time to run that play, right? McCarthy's running, you're sealing everything up, and you come back with a little bit of a different formation and a shift. I don't know if you need that right there. Maybe that's your 2-point play, or if it's a 4th down, you do something a little tricky. But you're having success with McCarthy just running around the outside. I don't know if that play is good.
And a timeout taken by Port Washington. So, Roddy, you are, like you mentioned, for Port Washington, you're in 4-down territory. You could use Troy Stevenson to kick a field goal, though he's not exactly as sure-footed as the other side, and Port Washington is probably thinking end zone here. So you have 2 plays to get a first down, and then you've also got, if you get that first down, you've got a first and goal situation, so potentially 7 plays if you draw it all the way out. But what are you seeing out of the Syosset defense, and what do you expect Port Washington to call?
So first, high school football, it's hard to have a really good kicker. Remember, you got to get the snapper, you got to get the hold, and we already saw a missed extra point. So number 1, I'm thinking score. Number 2, Syosset, they just got to take care of McCarthy. I would love to see Port run that same little sweep, but maybe they have a little pass play out of it. They're coming out and spread here. I'm going to guess they're going to try to roll McCarthy out, maybe do a little zone read with him, but he's got to handle the ball and make decisions for you here. Still got 1 timeout left. If you don't get it, you know you're going for it on 4th, unless you trust your kicker, but that's tough.
3rd and 5. Behan and Stevenson near side. McCarthy fires. Incomplete.
Good play.
Good defense by Will Cawley. Jake Siciliano, the intended receiver. And that'll set up 4th and 5.
So I know Port has 1 timeout here, and everyone's going to say what's going on. Looks like they're bringing on the kicking team, or just a whole bunch of subs. Again, I know you let McCarthy pass the ball there. I would have liked to have seen him roll out and been able to, hey, I don't like what I see, let him run. This is a big play here.
So Stevenson to kick it. This will be a 25-yard field goal, and Syosset will ice him.
Smart. Not only is Syosset icing him here, but you're going over, okay, let's be smart. Maybe they have a fake, so let's make sure who's covering who. Let's make sure we line up correctly and watch the ball, right? It's 4th and 6. If they go on 2 or 3, they can get a first down here. Are they inside the 10? Or they'll get it closer, and then you let them decide what they want to do. So don't jump. Who's covering the wings? Who's covering the tight ends? And if you get through, just get your hands up. So that's a good timeout, not just to ice them, but to just go over what you plan on doing. The only bad thing is Port now can decide, hey, do we have a play we want to run here on 4th and 6? Do we trust this kicker? Or do we give the ball to McCarthy and say, hey, let's go win the game on your shoulders?
Certainly a ton of options for Port Washington. As they've lost 3 in a row, Syosset had their 2-game winning streak snapped last week at Freeport.
Yeah, they're kicking the field goal.
So Troy Stevenson from 25 yards out. It was his 54-yard touchdown that gave Port Washington a 13-7 lead. He missed the extra point, an opportunity for redemption for Stevenson.
Bad snap.
Bad snap. The kick is up. It is blocked. And Syosset's special teams comes up large. The block, Henry Wong. What a stop for the Braves.
So this is where, being a head coach is tough, because if you go for a 4th down, you don't get it. Everybody wants you to kick the field goal. When you kick the field goal and you have a bad snap, now it's you should have went for it. Again, personally, it's hard for high school kids to kick field goals and extra points, so I might have went for it with McCarthy and let him make a decision there. And now all Syosset has to do is take a couple of knees, and this game is over. Great defense by Syosset to stop him. Port went all the way down the field. They came up with 3 stops when they needed, and that's the game for Syosset.
It was a low snap, but the pressure was coming. Henry Wong got through, had the block.
I don't even think if Wong blocked that. That ball barely got off the ground. I don't even know if it got on the tee. And what a disappointing loss for Port. They played fantastic to drive all the way down the field to get stopped. But again, on the other side, what a rush of adrenaline for Syosset. They have the game in hand. They let Port come all the way down the field, and when the defense needed to respond, they did. What a way to end homecoming. If I see a flying car at the end of this game, I know we're in trouble.
Well, listen, we've seen a fumble on the Syosset side earlier, but this is just some knee downs. Syosset will pick up their 4th win of the year. It's a 14-13 final as Syosset, behind 2 Will Cawley touchdowns, win it 14-13 on homecoming, a great atmosphere. Henry Wang enjoying the celebration as the Braves knock off Port Washington.
What a great game. It started off a little slow. It felt like Thursday night football and Russell Wilson playing quarterback for the Broncos. And instead, in the second half, the offenses got going. And, when it came down to it, the Syosset defense made a stand, and they get the big win to put them in a chance for a playoff opportunity. Port still has a chance. They just got to come back next week, shake this off, and get a victory.
Definitely. We have the Guac Shop post-game show coming up next. We'll step aside, and then we'll speak to our players of the game and what I could presume is a very happy Syosset bunch. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Syosset a 14-13 win on homecoming. You're watching the Guac Shop postgame show. Let's send it down to Ben Turchin.
Post-game show here with the victorious Syosset Braves. It was a close game. It came down to the end, and number 84, Henry Wang, with the block on the field goal. Henry, tell us, how did you make that play?
Well, I do it every time in practice, and I practice over again. Dude, it's just, I know it works. It's the greatest feeling in the world. With all my teammates here and everyone, the coaches supporting me. I love you guys.
Well, let me tell you something. It was a great feeling. We have an even better feeling for the Syosset Braves team. In to tell us about it, let's bring in Luke from Guac Shop with a very special announcement for the Syosset Braves for winning today. Luke, take it away.
Fellas, congratulations on a great team win. We're going to continue this celebration over at Guac Shop for a free team dinner. You and all the boys, completely on us. Way to win it, fellas.
Henry, what do you think about that? You guys are all getting a free meal.
That's so good. I love free food.
All right, John, we're going to send it back up to you. Once again, the victorious Syosset Braves.
All right, thank you, Ben. Kids love the Guac Shop, and, I mean, who doesn't love a free team meal? Roddy, what an atmosphere tonight for Syosset. We'll talk about it in a second, but Guac Shop Mexican Grill with locations in Garden City, Jericho, Wantagh, Freeport, and New Hyde Park. Place an order today at guacshopmexicangrill.com and follow on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Guac Shop. Alongside Roddy McCoy, I'm John Perez. We'll get one quick thought on each side for Syosset. Big win. It came down to the special teams. Henry Wong gets the block. Will Cawley doing a good job in the trenches. Good second half for Syosset to get the win.
What a gutsy performance by Syosset. It looked like Port was going to take the game, and their defense just clamped down and stopped McCarthy and the offense. So what a great win for them going into next week. Again, as we've been talking about the whole time, this gives Syosset an opportunity to be 4-3 and puts them in the driving seat for a potential playoff position.
And meanwhile, for Port Washington, I know they got a long ride back. As the coach, what do you tell your team after a heartbreaking loss?
Well, kids aren't going to want to hear it, but you tell them how proud you are of them, how they drove down the field, and they played a great second half. Defensively, they did a lot of really good things. Once they got the offense going and gave the ball to McCarthy, they did a lot of great things as well. This is a tough pill to swallow for them, though. This is a long ride home, and being 3-4, hopefully they'll have an opportunity to win next week and make the playoffs. But you can only tell the kids how proud they are of their effort and how much they fought, and hopefully that resonates with them, and you could build off that.
A good ground and pound wreck of the game between Syosset and Port Washington. And that'll do it for our cameramen, Abraham Nieves and James Suckle. TD is Chris Sweeney. The executive producer is Ben Turchin. Special thanks to Joe Giannotti, who fed us stats tonight. For my partner, Roddy McCoy, this is John Perez saying so long from Syosset High School. This has been a presentation of Varsity Media,